and every last one of y'all. Oh man, why y'all doing this to me? Why you doing this to me? Facebook, why y'all doing that? Hey, y'all, give me a break. Give me a break. Alright. So of course, lines will be open. It's one of those days where we got a little bit of time. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and a great Imani to all those that speak the language. Text should be coming in a couple of seconds. I'm already drinking my water. Hope you drinking your water. Mm, there they go. There's the text right there. All right. We got to make sure we got our sound effects up. Okay. Got all those spiritual animals in the place. Make sure you know the line is open. 614 dash 556 dash 4535. Okay, shouts out to CeeLo. Thank you for joining us. I'm already drinking my water. Let me make sure the people on speaker know how to get in touch with us. Got to make sure all the family, 614 dash 556 dash 4535. Thank you, Miss Mosh.
You're welcome, Miss Daddy. I mean, Mr. Daddy.
All right, once again, family, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers that's on the journey. Shouts out. Great Imani to each and every last one of you. I'm going to pin up the numbers, so just in case you want to call in, if we have anything that we need to discuss, shouts out. Make sure you're drinking your water. I don't have that much of a health drink anymore. I just got the green tea, but I guess that's kind of healthy. Kind of help clear up the mind a little bit. I'm feeling kind of stiff today, but that's life. That's how it goes down. Especially after you hit those 50s. At least that's what I heard. I've had water and what? Go ahead. 6 miles? Go ahead.
614.
All right, here we go. So, family, let me get this one thing up off my screen. I would like to welcome you. Get out of here.
What?
My sound effects aren't up yet, Sasha Mosh. That means I got to stall. I'm going to have to click that out. I'm going to have to stall. We got to stall. So I'm going to drink my water. And wait for some more, some other stuff. But this week, we had a marvelous week. We had some good proverbs. I'm going to share a couple of those while we wait for the spiritual animals to decide to join us. All right, a sound effects. We had an excellent story this week. Let's see. The story that we covered this week was the ass and his purchaser. Had a real good conversation. The proverbs of the day, or this week, day 28. Let's say week 28. Wow. Week 28, really, that's what that is. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. That was Bill Cosby. All growth is a leap in the dark, a spontaneous, unpremeditated act without benefit of experience. That was Henry Miller. And then we have excess of familiarity. Excess of familiarity is at the root of all hostility. That's from Algeria.
Can you get the kids?
So, you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Why are you whispering, girl?
I'm not.
I'm talking about anime. You better turn up the volume, girl. She up here whispering. I don't know what's going on. What y'all do to anime that she up here whispering? Huh?
Call her a loser?
She a loser?
No. I just saying if they called her a loser.
Who called her a loser?
I don't know. Just ask.
You mean, Sasha Moss. Let's try it again. You're now rocking with the best. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. This is a Heart of a Simple production, and you are now listening to the Daily Toast.
When we strive to blow up your old paradigm.
When we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink your water. Take your breath and drink your water. Take your breath and drink your water. Take your breath. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Now lift your glass and drink your water. Lift your glass and drink your water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Lift your glass. I see you, Miss Lucy. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Move your body, drink some water. Like 6 miles. Move your body, drink some water. Ah! Move your body, drink some water. Ooh! Move your body. Drink, 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 drink. Shouts out to Miss Stephanie Jackson. Happy Mother's Day to all of y'all. Drink, 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 drink. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Now let's mix it up. Take your breath and drink your water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, lift, move, lift. That's stuff. Here we go, try it again. Breathe, lift, move, toast. Got it. Now raise your glass and drink some water.
No.
Take your breath and drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. What is going on with my sound? Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass and drink some water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Lift your glass. Lift your glass. Lift your glass. Let's get it. All right, family. Now, for some reason, everything is low, and I don't understand. But hey, that's the time. YouTube ain't YouTube. You been drinking? Wow. Come on now. Stay up. YouTube been drinking and it fell down on us, family. All right, so now we're going to have to talk about the day. All right, of course, y'all know we have today. Today is Imani. For those that don't speak the language, that is faith. The meiotic principle today is harmony. The M7 for today is trust. The color is red. We have gender for the Hermetic law. We also have, if you were born on this day, male, right? If you're a male born on this day, you're a Quasi. And female, if you were born a female on this day, your name will be a Kuasa, right? Kuasa. Kosa or Kosa? A Kosua, my fault. Or Kosua. All right, shouts out. We got Miss Amatu. Good morning, family. Happy Mother's Day, sisters and daughters. Miss Amatu wishes everybody a happy Mother's Day. We also got somebody watching us on YouTube as well. Family, we are growing. Like I said, for those who want to throw their ancestors' names on the toast, text 614-300-1875 and text Daily Toast. Hashtag Daily Toast. And I think a form will come out to you. If not, I'll text you back and I will have you go and list your ancestors. Or I'll send you a form so that you can list your ancestors and I will add them to the list because our list is slowly but surely growing. I'm quite sure there's a lot of stuff for us to talk about. I just haven't been keeping up with the news. I was out putting out stuff up yesterday, and I'm having a, went and celebrated with my sister. So it was cool. So now let me see if I can find a poem. Well, the reason I've been sharing the poem because family, we have the shirts available. Once again, this one is a package going out right here. It's kind of small for me, but it's just right for one of the sisters out there that's listening. Just the right size. Smell good too, smell new. I love new smelling shirts. It's just something about a new smelling shirt. Daily Toaster shirt, because we're building up our team, right? Also with the shirt, you get Poetry is My Religion and 7 sticks. I want to make sure it don't get bent up since my kids is around. Everything tends to get bent up with the babies, right? So let's see. Let's just pull a poem out. I won't do that one. No, Lord. All right, this is one I wrote years ago. It's called Morning. Somebody out there remember this one. All right, check this out. One of the few love poems I wrote. It's morning. I have never understood why it's called morning until I had to depart from you in mourning. The rising of the sun marks the beginning of the end of our passion. You reflect me as if you were the moon to my sun. You sing songs of ancient mysteries to my soul that I have to pursue, even at the peril of my life. I look into your eyes and see the end of this galaxy and the swirling dust particles that are the very thoughts of God. It's morning, and I'm mourning the passing of you as if I was watching a loved one die. You spark things in me that no one else has. It's morning, and I'm mourning the fact that I could never possess you because to possess you would be to destroy the very thing that bonds us together. My morning. I know this sounds strange, but I would rather die 1,000 times than to be face to face. My fault, rather than to be faced with the fact that I have become so used to you that I overlook what you are to me. You are the unpossessable love.
This call is being recorded.
Oh, now it's loud. I don't understand. Let me start back from that point. I know this sounds strange, but I would rather die 1,000 times than to be faced with the fact that I have become so used to you that I overlook what you are to me. You are the unpossessable love that I will lament over and tell tales of to my sons and grandsons. For your presence in my life reminds me that I am nothing but shadows and dust, and that all things are temporary, even the mourning that I feel for you. So yes, it is morning, and I am mourning, but I know that joy can only follow grief as the day follows the night. The mourning that I feel empowers me as I pray that it does you. All right, that's called Morning. But like I said, that's in this book that's coming with the shirt. Somebody's on the line. Who's on the line?
is Brother Shaka.
Not Shaka. Shaka Hasbury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's going on, good sir?
Brother, I am so anxious and excited to see how the universe is going to get us all together on Saturday. I'm just, I hope that didn't sound some kind of way. I just, right now, I feel like it's going to be what it's supposed to be. And those who show up are the right people. And there's so much of a good energy for this. And for everybody that don't know at this point, I'm talking about the Malcolm X Festival.
May 19th. Right? May 19th, 12 to 8 p.m. at the Millennium Community School, 3500 Refugee Road. Thank you for that, Chaka. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. I got 10 gallons that I'm bringing, along with some musical instruments and some other things to prepare with
made 10 gallons?
Red film station.
You made 10 gallons.
I got 10 gallons ready to take off the titty right now.
All right, cool. Check this out. I'm going to get you a table. That's going to be on me. I'm going to get you a table. So you going to get your stuff off. And then you're going to have to talk because I'm going to have to get you a couple extra bucks because I'm throwing your ass up on stage. I'm just letting you know, right?
Right on. Yo, I appreciate that too, man, because we had, man, you know what? I'll save that for later on.
All right.
Go ahead.
Because we still got to throw out this toast. I'm going to throw out this toast real quick, family. Well, not real quick, because we want to make sure that the ancestors and the Creator get their due, right? So we want to throw out these thoughts for our ancestors. We want to throw it out today. All right, so let's go on and only thing I got is some green tea. I done drunk up all my ambrosia. I haven't started brewing yet. The Malcolm X Festival is, it's going down and it's taking up some of the resources. And I have to make sure that everything is straight. So, taking up time and, I'm asking y'all to donate. So I'm giving money. So, well, actually, maybe you don't know that. But I come from a school where we believe that if you ask however you say it, you know what I'm saying? I can't ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm giving. So, all right, family, we are going to lift this glass and we are going to salute the Creator by whatever name you choose to call it Creator. We call on that great power, that one unifying force, and we lift up the glass and we say, Ashe.
Ashe.
From there, we move on to the stars of the show, and I'm going to read through our growing list of ancestors. And each time we read this, you know what I'm saying, we bless our ancestors, which gives our ancestors the ability to bless us. So, calling on Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert and Tex, Senator Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilley, Georgia William Walter, Chris and Fanny Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland and Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallard, Montague Pittman, Nell, Nomo X, Pet Ma, Ra, Nika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Ageni, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carl Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pullier, the Luxor brother, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Triggs, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Randerman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hines Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Ware, Levita Farmer, Agoso Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Deolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Anne Patricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, May Esther Keach-Larice, Linda Watson Hamlins, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore, Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lovina Hall, Freeman Bankston, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, excuse me, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, it's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quills, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quills, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Dorita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Imhotep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Delma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey and Eleanor Howe, Frankie Russellin Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy. We got the Friedis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Miriam Johnson, Wilbert Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Peanut Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Warren M. Finch, Jennifer Sensenbaugh, Hazel Gatson, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaneko Parsons, Jason Cathy, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irving, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Boots Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Mary Nichols, Amina Robinson, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Toure, Donna Hill, Richard Gleavis, Lee Irby, Tom Irby, Voy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Haley Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniels, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harriet Tubman Cates, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Halsey Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Sanders, Doretha Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Vanilla, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Erlington Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Stanton, Joel Gimel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Bet Vaughn, and I think I read his name, but I'll read it again. Warren M. Finch. I want to make sure I got to make sure that I see that. All right, so family, we lift up the glass to our family, and we say, Ashe. From there, we move on. We move on to the present moment. We salute this moment, right? And we say Ashe. From there, we toast the future, right? Our children, our children's children, on to infinity. But it's all one continuum. So, once we raise to a certain level, we better see it all, right? So we lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, we salute all of our relations. We say Ashe. And last but not least, I salute the most powerful thing in this room. And that's you, family. I toast each and every last one of you for taking the time to join us live or to join us when you can. I greatly appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? With that, we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. All right. I wish you peace, power, joy, and 100 years. So now on to the conversation. Shaka, what's going on in your part of the world?
What's going on, man, is that I realized that self-mastery, it really helps for you to identify the energies around you. And, when you go through the trials, and, hey, can you hear me? Is there some disturbance?
You actually sounding clear than usual. I turned the volume down because for some reason Uber Conference is louder than the rest of my settings. And I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Oh, okay, don't worry. I was just hearing the feedback from that. But carry on, man. So I was at an event yesterday, purely for support. To support the thing that was going on. And once again, shout out to Christian Farmer, a young lady, 32 years old, that came up through the network and started a practice as a doula. And within the past year, got a grant, or got her organization funded, $1.4 million. And so I think that is definitely a beautiful thing for everybody who knows what these birthing specialists bring to the families that they serve, and for those who also understand the ancestral duties of the doula. So here we are celebrating a sacred practice, and as I look around the room, and you don't even have to use your eyes. You can close your eyes and listen to the folks who are speaking, and tell that there are folks in the room who have no idea. There are folks in the room who don't know how to kick into the higher self function. So they're still in this lower self frequency. And when I say in this matter, we're talking about the event was a battle for our babies. It was about saving our babies and understanding, creating awareness about everything from SIDS to, whatever it is that, that is killing our babies at such an enormous rate, and you got people there who are just on this level of, they don't know how to deal with that. So they come with this level of, when they're trying to describe these women, they're using words like sexy at a place that we're dealing with some very sacred energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it just let me know that on a level of community, it's very important for us to not just take something sacred along with us, but protect it and let people know that it's there. And especially when people are on your team and they don't recognize it, they can be a detriment to you and what you're doing in the community.
Yeah.
So I say all of that because that's why in nation building, there's a protocol and there's initiation. But in the community,
It's supposed to be.
not necessarily so.
Well, I mean, in nature building, in the way we do it, yes, but not in all aspects. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, because nature, you know, but in the community, I mean, and really, we're coming to a point where we're going to have a discussion. If there's no initiation, is there truly a community? Because it's like, what holds us together other than us being black? You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, yeah.
It has to be. There has to be. Those who are not willing to sacrifice will not be fulfilled. And as scary as that sounds to some people, this is a fact. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we have people who hang on the fringes because they can. You know what I'm saying? And in a sense, we have to start moving towards a level where there's no hanging on the fringe here, my friend. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's no just hanging on. There's no playing with this. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like either you with us or you're not. I ain't gonna say against us, but don't get in our way. You know, because you got people coming off with these new philosophies. You got people.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I might see. And that's what's frustrating, Hashem, because for me there is no gray. There is no gray. When I stand shoulder to shoulder with community builders, and they don't know what it is necessarily that I bring to the table to be able to utilize that in situation. I mean, yesterday was a performing arts. You know what it was? It was they call it the Battle for the Baby, and I had a poetry submission in there. And, you know, the adults had a certain contest and the kids had a contest. People won money, but at the end of the day, it was to bring people together for awareness. I think it was a really beautiful strategy. But when they put people in place to be able to host and to be able to, you know what I mean? I think yesterday what it was is that I was really rooting for my team to go out and represent. And when they fell into the duties of, when we fell into the things that we do, you know how it happens. We have an event, somebody don't show up, and I let them know, listen, if you got a spot that needs to be filled, I'm here, and I got your back, you know. But what ends up happening when those spots are that need to be filled, the ego of the host is like, all right, well, I'm going to just run this audible, and I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to do this way. And it just, people saw it, and people saw that it was some freestyle stuff, which lessened the integrity of, you know, what our organization is about. And then when you bring out the whole, you know, you inviting contestants up on stage, and it's like, oh, this sister had on a full African guard, ready to prepare her piece or to present her piece, right? Mm-hmm. And the brother tells her, he tells her, you look real. And then she gets on the microphone and she stops for a second. She was like, I hope that was a compliment, or I hope that's a good thing. You know what I mean? But real was the other word. Instead of using sexy, he said real. And so that goes to the extent of, man, you know, how much time do the people on my team actually deal with the higher self, or do they? Because you know what I mean? Because when we're out in different community events like this, we got to represent each other, man.
Right.
If that's not our lane,
You know what I mean?
How many opportunities do they have? Well, hold on. Shouts out to Miss Nikita. I see you on the on the chat. Call in line is 614-556-4535. Right now we just having family talk. You know, there's no direction. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about what you want right now. Shaka's talking about some of the issues that's going on in the community, not just in where he is, because he's in Cleveland, but these are issues that we deal with on a nationwide basis. And the question is, how often do our people get to be in a position where they can express this higher self? You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, we're surrounded and inundated with reasons to expose the lower parts of our nature, if we want to call them lower parts, the base parts or whatever, because all of it works as a whole to make sure that we can survive. You know what I'm saying? Because there is no existence on a higher level if there is no lower level, if there's no something not controlling that what's going on the lower levels, or something that's handling that business on them lower levels. And we got to understand it's a continuum. But you're right, there needs to be some form of representation when we go out there, you know, and everybody ain't gonna be able to do it.
Representation and reciprocation, in the sense that when you are in layman's terms, the difference between higher self and lower self is one is selfish and the other one is selfless. And when we are able to put it even in that catalog of how we behave, when we belong or we represent together, whether it's tribe, whether it's organizations, whether it's family, however, we have to represent. And we have to leave room for, but I tell them honestly, I just, being in community for as long as I have, I don't know how to express okay, yes I do. I'll say it flat out. Too many of us pretend, you ever heard somebody say, fake it until you make it?
Right.
And you'll find yourself in a crowd of folks who are wearing the T-shirts and rocking the unks and stuff like that, but they have not gone through anything to really put their behavior in check.
See,
so it offends.
See, now, is that the individual's fault or is that the whole's fault? Sasha and Gina. Real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Is that their fault or is that the community? Is that the group's fault?
People gonna do what they gonna do, but you just made me think of something, because you talking to your children now. I had prepared in my mind to make a statement yesterday, and I didn't make it.
You did?
But I wanted to run it by. I did not make it because I don't think that because of that distraction, I didn't think people were ready for it. But I'm going to say it to you, and I want to bounce it off, because, you know, when we look at, as parents, the things that our children bring into our lives through their behavior, we have to protect them. We have to teach them. And, you know, sometimes our kids do things that, you know, like, you know, my son, you know, he loves to mess up the house, but but he doesn't want to clean it up.
He don't want to clean it up.
Here's the key.
That's my man. I got it. But go ahead.
Nothing that our children bring to us is their fault. Whether it's they make us mad, they do things that frustrate us, but I have to say that none of it is their fault. Number one, because if they were accountable, they wouldn't be in our household, they'd be in their own. I feel like it is our job as parents to teach them to protect themselves until they are able to protect themselves. And so when I say that nothing that they bring to us in a negative fashion is their fault because they're responding to their environment. And my son, he responds to his environment. He sees dad stuff all over the place. He doesn't, and, you know, and even to the point where he understands like I do. Like I'll say, hey, where's my Adidas at? Upstairs under my cover, because I was making a scarecrow, and you know what I mean? So he knows that they under his bed, stuffed in some clothes to make it look like it's a scarecrow under the bed. I don't know why he does this. He does it all the time. He makes scarecrows all over the place.
Because it's Michael Jackson.
Because all you're doing is making a mess.
No, that's right. Michael Jackson, man. Scarecrow's Michael Jackson.
Right. Right. So I can't be mad at that, but it's frustrating. And I have to remember, and I have to tell myself, it's not his fault. Number one, because I allow it. Right? And even if I didn't, and he is persistent, like sometimes, and you've seen this more recently, I say Pharaoh, you know, and I'll instruct him to do something. But because he's around people, he flexes on me a little bit. He starts showing off like, Dad, no, Dad, wait, listen. And he gets into that, you ever see that little kid on YouTube? Linda, listen, no. Mommy, listen.
Linda. Yeah, I see.
Pharaoh is at that point. He's at that point right now where he's like, Dad, just listen to me. This is what I'm doing. And you know what? When he is able to articulate it and it makes sense what he's doing, I let him. Because he's focused on something, and who am I to deter that? Yeah. So go ahead. I mean, what do you think about this concept of it's not their fault?
Well, I mean, really, our children, when it comes to young people, they are a reflection of us, right? So in a sense, it's not their fault. But then you got to go to their parents. Are their parents responsible? Is it really their parents' fault? See, because one of the things is a paradox for us, man. Because it's like, who is really responsible? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you look at a child and you see some of the stuff that the child is acting out, and then you go back to the parent, you be like, well, the parent should be responsible because the parent is an adult. But then you got to ask the question in my community, and I have to often ask this question: are my children being raised by adults? And what sanctions them to be an adult other than their age? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, see, because our children failing are not just a family failing, it's a failing of the community. This is why I asked you the question: whose fault is it? Is it the individual fault for acting in the way that they do, or is it the community's fault? It's a paradox. The individual has some culpability there, right? But then also the community has culpability because the community need to be forming the individuals that are needed. But because our community has been under siege, and most of us don't recognize this, we have been under siege, we are exhibiting behaviors that are not for the upliftment of us. So now we have to ask the question: who is really responsible? Yes, the individual shares some responsibility, and yes, that adult that has that child, or that big child that has that little child is responsible for those behaviors. But then again, are they truly an adult? And what sanctioned them to be an adult? And since there is no place other than, I mean, think about adulthood. I mean, if you think about the process of becoming an adult, where is a process managed and maintained in our society? You know what I'm saying? That works for us, because an adult is somebody that not only takes responsibility for them, but takes responsibility for their culture, takes responsibility for their community, and we have not had that for a very long time. Some of us have been blessed enough to stumble into it, but everything that we have been educated in, everything that we have been exposed to, works towards our ill, works towards us, and works towards our detriment. And a lot of times we can't dig that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like we don't even see that, and then we start blaming ourselves and we start blaming each other. When in fact we need to look at the divine paradox, the relationship between the individual and the self. You know, because I mean, really think about this, Shaka. When you was told to go to college, you was told to go to college for who?
For myself.
Exactly. I was told to go to college for myself. Were you told to come back and service the place that you came from?
Nope.
Me neither. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, it was like we were being told that you need to go out so that you could escape.
Wow. You know what? I mean, I get that too. I mean, and that's a learned behavior.
That's a learned.
Because when you look at our parents, when you look at the northern migration, right?
Right.
How we ended up in Ohio from the South. That's exactly why. Because you had sharecroppers. It's just like, yo, I'm gonna send my kids to school, and we talking about, our grandparents sending our parents to school so that they can have something better, right?
Right.
And while that is that's the family business. Is you going to school is the family business. Mm. You going to school is the family business because your father, who is who's cropping, or who's a carpenter, and have all these different trades, these tradesmen, and these mothers who, I don't want to put them in a box.
Okay, go ahead.
But what our grandmothers, especially on Mother's Day, I think that maybe we need to open. We need some of the sisters to come in and represent this. I mean, what was your grandmother doing? You know what I mean? How did you get to where you at? Whose choice was that? Whose decision was that? Because, like I said, it was their decision to send their children to college so that they can have something better, so that they can understand and acculturate themselves in a way that, the grandparents were not able to.
Now,
because they're still coming out of. Go ahead.
I just want to stress this point, bro. You got to remember, they wasn't leaving the fields to because at that point in time, the escape was escaping the plantation life, escaping the sharecropper cycle. So you have people running to the north so that they could build something. At that point in time, there was nothing there, so that's where the escape came from. But we never lost. We in some form or fashion, it was never communicated to us, or we didn't really understand it. So now college is seen as a way for us to escape something. But what we're escaping is ourselves. See, back with the northern migrations, most people was escaping what was going on down south. You understand? We both know people who had stories of individuals in their family who had to leave the South because they were going to literally kill him or her for something that they did, mm-hmm. or people that was locked in to this sharecropping piece, and they could never get a heads up, and parts of the family would escape, and then they would get money back so that other people can escape and they could move up north and possibly find a better life. Right? It wasn't necessarily about just going to college. It was about being able to establish a foundation so that you can actually live the life as a man or a woman. But coming north, you know what I'm saying? The economic situation might have been a little bit better, but then they kept running into some of the issues that were not as blatant in the north as in the south. Now, what happened when our generation came, we still had this escape mentality. Our community still had this escape mentality now because we're locked into these areas. And people don't even understand how we ended up locked up into the areas where we are. Really, you got to check out where you grew up, Shaka, because if you really look at it, how did the community that you grew up in, or that I grew up in, or that anybody that's listening grew up in that's black, how did your people end up in that neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Did they choose to move in that neighborhood? Did they choose the houses that they had, or were they redlined into their area?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Was that the only area that they could get?
I mean, that's a very vital question, because, and I'm gonna share this with you, man. And I was just getting there, but this is even better, man. You remember the Anthony Stowell? Anthony Stowell is he's the killer. He's a serial killer here from Cleveland, right? And his house was a block over from where I grew up. I stayed on Soika. He lived on Imperial. I was the paper boy on Soika and Imperial. And when I came back to Cleveland, and if you YouTube me right now and misspell my name with 1K, first video comes up is me in front of Anthony Sowell's house.
Shut up.
De-escalating the community. Right?
Okay.
True story. The reason I bring him up is because when he was locked up the first time, he asked not to be released. He said, because if you release me, I will kill again. And they not only did they release him, but they put him over there on Imperial, a block from where I grew up, so that when he killed, he would kill some folk that they wouldn't miss.
Was he black?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, because, bruh, the fact of the matter is that a lot of black neighborhoods we have are there because black folks couldn't get nowhere else. I mean, I want you to think about the 70s and some of our grandparents and some of us who have older parents. They were doing financially, they were doing pretty good. I mean, it wasn't nothing compared to other communities, but it was good, and they had enough money to buy quality homes. But a lot of our people ended up being stuck in areas that were of lower value. So, no.
You all right?
No, you want to take over. Go ahead.
Right. So you look at these, you look at that same movement, and right now, over the past decade, we had, when I moved from the East Coast, I realized that a lot of our people who own properties in New Jersey were, and this is back in 08, I saw this starting to happen, all right? Because we were all in crisis at that time because of a strategy that was used against homeowners to get what they had. Now, the piece is that a lot of black folks said, you know what, I'm going to sell this house, which, by the way, Hatim, the houses that I'm talking about in Cleveland or Columbus are probably worth like 75 to 100 grand. But you take those same houses in New Jersey, and those houses are probably like $350,000 to $500,000.
Right.
All right. And so what happens is that they say, let me sell this house, and with the money that I make, I'm gonna just slide back down south and build brand new. You know, so I might make back $250 and invest 100 grand on a house that I want. And they all have the opportunity to do that, right? All of them.
At least it
now, over the past decade,
right,
there's a lot of folks that come back from the north, back down to the south to develop because, they saw that they had the opportunity to pioneer their own communities again. So a lot of the villages that we're trying to build in the Midwest are already built and brand new down in from Atlanta down to the Carolinas. These things are happening already. But in the Midwest, how do we make that happen for us? How do we make that happen right now for us? When we talk about building village, and so
do we really?
My way is as you see, I'm trying to connect the nation builders with the community builders who have the resources and are dedicated to such a cause. And that's the hard part. Because you get folks, especially right now, had a brother talking about, how much money it is out there right now for not just through gentrification, but how much money is out there and how, for good causes. But then all of a sudden, you see all these new activists coming to the that
you never saw before.
You never saw them before.
Never saw them before. Never heard of their work. But then they got all these accolades, and you be wondering where that shit come from. And all that shit could be manufactured in a couple of weeks, dude. You know what I'm saying? We are being in you. See, because the piece that I'm trying to bring across is that where we live, especially in the North, was not a choice. When we're moving back down to the South, we have to really look at that and see if it's really a choice. And then we also really got to see how far are our dollars stretching. Because as a community, our money don't stretch like other people. Because in order to build a house, $100,000 is not enough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for the 3-bedroom, you know what I'm saying, quality material, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You need a credit line, and these banks have still been refusing us credit. You know what I'm saying? Access to credit. And when we do get it, we always are paying more. So we have to understand that on Tone Talks, Tone spoke to I can't remember the brother's name. He just bought the Weather Channel, Byron Allen. And he talks about economic genocide that is happening against our people because we're being frozen out. And then we get these illusions, like, for example, and I'm not saying what you're saying is an illusion, but this illusion that there's this enclave of black folks that are doing well and purchasing shit that, on the whole, we don't got. You know what I'm saying? Because when we look at the when we look at the numbers, right? You look them up yourself. When you look at the numbers, the median black family is worth $1,700. $1,700. The median. Yes. The median is $1,700. Now, they ain't all, because you're going to have some with less, like myself. And you're going to have some with more, like you, because you coming up here with 10 gallons. So obviously you got some money on, so you might get jacked when I see you. I'm give me some gallons, nigga. I don't know what's going on, What the hell going on? You got pretty bottles and shit. Look at that shit. Pretty bottles. You know what I'm saying? What the hell going on in Cleveland? I'm gonna have Gye-Nyame Journey gonna be on the prowl. We looking for you, you with over $1,700 saved up.
Hey man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be transparent. I'm gonna put myself out there. Listen, man. In order for me to, well, I ain't gonna even say that's even connected, but at my lowest point this year, I, as soon as the winter crisis months was over, they turned my electric off. And they treated it like, it was gangster how they did it.
Oh, yeah.
It was real gangster how they did it. And when I went to Heat to go ahead and get my stuff reconnected, because, usually that's what I do, they said, no, we ain't going to reconnect this dude until he pay us at least $500 because he owed twice that right now. And I'm like, man, look, so what am I going to do? And at my lowest point, I said, you know what? I'm going to take what I got right now and I'm going to go ahead and start this brew. Because this is the fastest way
to get that money.
For me to be able to get that money.
It's incredible.
Right?
But listen, our people are under a spell. We're under an illusion of wealth that does not exist. Right? I mean, we got the Jay-Z's, we got the T.I.'s, we got the mumble rappers, we got the celebrities, we got the athletes, and we think that is a picture of us. But
no.
But the fact of the matter is that a majority of us, like you, are just now able to make the bills and have to make choices like that all the time. Either this or that. And what that says is, one, we're being priced out of America. We're being priced out, family. And the whole piece is we got to break the illusion so that we can start taking the political steps, taking the economic steps, taking the social steps, so that we can start getting back to the beginning of our conversation, start shaping and molding young people to come out and speak on our behalf. We need young politicians. We need young businessmen and women. We need, you know what I'm saying? We need conscious celebrities. We need celebrities out there that's willing to create
absolutely.
Messages that will infect the people. You understand?
And see, now here's the thing, and here's the thing. The last time I looked at my watch at 11:11, I asked for believers. And as you talk about economics, what I'm wondering is, what is the equity of our beliefs? How do we ignite that in each other? How do we take, because if you believe in something, no matter what, no matter the price, you are going to go through whatever trials you need to be able to maintain that belief. So I say that because same event I was at yesterday, I saw a brother who over this past decade has made some tremendous moves in Cleveland and in the Cleveland art scene. And I approached him. I said, you know what? Some things that I want to do, and I'm having this event on Juneteenth. All right. By the way, that's still going. I just got confirmation that I got the space for that weekend. All right.
Okay.
So I said, man, I want you to come and document and do some freestyle art. And I know this is kind of out of the blue. And the dude stopped me in mid-sentence. He said, wait, Shaka. He was like, I've known you since I was 10 years old. I need you to remember that. So ain't nothing about out of the blue. I know who you are, and I'm down with it. How do I get that type of response out of my people to be able to move forward and to walk with me, so that we can show up the right way, so that we can show what the behavior is supposed to be like? Because people they're watching right now. But see, the thing is that it's like me trying to, if you've never seen The Wizard of Oz, I'm in Cleveland, I'm playing everybody doing a one-man show. I'm playing Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the Wiz, the Witch, the dude standing by the door. But it's like people will see the difference when we all maintain our roles. And I don't want it to seem like it has to be a production, but at the same time, that work needs to be put in so that it is. Because as a team, if we are constantly showing up together in community, it's not that it's a protocol, it's customary. There's certain things that has to be there. If Hatim gonna be there, I know that Hatim only eat this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? So that's gotta be there. If I know that most of my nation builders are vegetarian, I gotta make sure that there's that there ain't meat sandwiches all over the place and mixed in with the vegetarian food. You know what I mean? It's certain things that just has to be considered. And going full circle in this conversation, once again, what it comes down to is that if you are on a pursuit of mastering self, then in all your relations, that has to be maintained. In all your relations, that thing that you pronounce as your belief has to at least be respected by all the folks that you're dealing with. I felt like yesterday was it was a kick for me to see that, not only are they not privy, but that's not the way that they roll. And I say they, I'm just saying that there's people that's just not interested in the protocol. There's people that's just not interested in, they look at you with the spiritual thing and they're like, no, I'm not even a religious person.
Right.
It has nothing to do with religion. It has more to do with the respect of what it is that, of who you walk with. Like I say, and like we on this call because we as nation builders know that we never walk alone. And we take this time on a daily basis to toast and to recognize the ancestors. But when you walk out and you expect to be able to build with people because they look like you or because they wearing the same symbol as you or whatnot, this is where a lot of us is going to lose the battle because we're not relationship building. We're not team building. We're not doing it effectively. And so I am very excited to see Columbus this week. I'm very excited to see the kids on Friday morning at Lady J's school. And I'm very excited to continue on throughout this weekend for my son to witness that. Yeah. I wish that, and right now I'm going to say it out loud because this is my movement. I want my son to know the nation builders and their families in Columbus so that when we visit, he has a tribe that he can go to. He has a place that we don't have to make calls all over the place to figure out where we're going to lay our head. You know what I mean? And I'm so excited. That part ain't even official yet, but I know I'm coming. You know what I mean? And that type of trust, that type of faith in my people, I cannot extend to those who are not on the level.
Hey, somebody on Gye-Nyame Journey says most people only ever wanted to be able to enjoy the end products. They dread having to do any of the work. You know what I'm saying? And that get to our folk tales. That's the tale of the ant and the grasshopper. The grasshopper and the ant. Are you a grasshopper or are you an ant? You know what I'm saying? And the piece is that we have to realize that ants may be that grasshoppers may be the majority right now. Right? So we have to understand that the numbers for me aren't as important as they used to be. Because the fact of the matter is that one of the things that this podcasting, this YouTubing, and this new thing on Facebook has taught me is that it don't matter how many people I got. What matters is how many people I move, how many people I connect with. You understand what I'm saying? The core. That's the most important piece. So if I go out there next week and it's just my crew, I'm satisfied. You know why? Because but I know it's going to be more than that. You know why? Because I have had an outpouring of people that are sacrificing, that are giving their $20, that's giving their $10, that's giving their $5, that's buying boots and stuff. So I know people are going to be, I know there's going to be people out there, but if there was only to be my crew, only be my tribe, only be my family, I would be satisfied. Why? Because, listen, I prefer to have a room, I would prefer to have an empty room with 10 people that I know that I can rely on, rather than have a full room of 1,000 that I have no idea. As a matter of fact, that I know they don't have anything to do with it. I don't have time for that no more. I need to be with the true now, because that's what we in the phase where we are right now. We need to be around the true, because right now, like you said, you got money become available, and all of a sudden everybody's conscious. I remember when rites of passage was the big thing all over the country, and all of a sudden you got all these experts all of a sudden coming out. Where the fuck were you 3 years ago? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, I mean, and these are the type of questions that we have to start asking people, and we need to get rid of this. Everybody has to feel comfortable. This is why, like I said, I try to maintain peace, but I always have somebody around me that don't mind calling you on your bullshit. Now I might try to settle the peace after that. You know what I'm saying? But we do need those individuals in our group that don't mind that. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to start distilling the wheat from the shaft. We need wheat right now.
Right.
I don't need shaft. I need wheat. I need those individuals that are willing to do the work. Those individuals that are willing to grow. Those individuals that are willing to support and come. All the others, I'm not even impressed with them. You know what I'm saying? Even at a child level at this point in time, because after working in the schools, like you said, your question, I agree with it. Agree with your answer. A child is not responsible, but I'm seeing children making adult choices now. And even though, I mean, and although we can say it goes to the parent, we have to trace it back to the community, and because there is no, like for example, when you look at traditional societies, and this is really all people, you never just got to claim that you was an adult. There was right now we have individuals that claim that they are adult. We have individuals that claim they are part of us, when in fact they are not. Anybody could do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, like for example, a lot of us heard the story about the white girl calling the police on the black girl sleeping in the in Yale.
Right.
Now, I want you to think about this. This white girl was able to call the police on this black girl at Yale. They demanded that this black girl show her their ID, show her her ID. But nobody ever
she was
asked.
Sleeping in the hallway.
No, she was sleeping in the common area. Now, you've been in college. You know what the fuck going on in common areas. I know motherfuckers who had sex in common areas. The fuck? I mean, you know how different is Yale? Because we know some freaks up there too. So she called the police because this black girl was, you know what I'm saying, in a common area.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the point. Nobody ever asked her for her ID. They asked the black woman for her ID, but they never asked the white woman that called them for the ID after they looked at it and said, she's just sleeping in here. Can I see, are you really a student at this school? And I'm bringing that up to say this. They didn't question her about her membership in that community, because in a sense they knew that she belonged. They looked at the one that was different. They could be like, it's a possibility that she might not be part of us. And the piece that we have to develop that. Everybody can't belong. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't belong. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And people like, oh, that's that leadership. No, that's that survival shit. You know what I'm saying? The Black Panthers allowed a lot of motherfuckers in too. Hell, Malcolm X
was a whole different,
Malcolm X was open after he left the Nation of Islam. A lot of people in too. Hell.
Right. I mean, and here's the thing about that, man. When you want, I had a brother do a whole paper on how even the gangs and a lot of the fraternal organizations came out of, not just the fraternal organization, but the street gangs came out of the concept of Freemasonry. In the sense that even in Chicago, when you break down the symbolisms of the Vice Lords and the Blackstone Rangers and and so they all have a historical, where they derive from. Why did I bring this up?
Membership.
Why did I bring this up?
You have to be able to prove that you belong. Not only can they look at you by your color and tell that you belong, there's a certain way in which you speak. There's certain things, there's certain tests that you can pass. And we have to start having those because our communities are just open. Anybody can move in. See, this is how fucked up. See, we live in transit areas, most of us. We don't realize that, but we live in transit areas where you can have a neighbor for 1 year and then they'll be gone and somebody else is up in there. That's called transient. In a stable community, there is no transient shit going on. You know what I'm saying? You live in an area for years, and you usually pass that shit down to somebody else in the family. And the only way some outsider would get it is if you have nobody to pass it to. We live in transit areas. You can't build community when there's constant transitions happening in that area. Part of community is being not just knowing a motherfucker and being like, hey, it's really knowing. It's being able to have respect. Why? Because I see you and I get to know you. And we have the 3 R's of relationship: respect, responsibility, and reciprocity. That's what, you know what I'm saying? Relationships. This is what's bothering me at school, because I have kids that who want to be related to me, want to have a relationship with me, but they don't understand relationship because their parents don't understand the 3 R's of relationship: respect, responsibility, reciprocity. You can't, you know what I'm saying?
Back to that.
I got kids.
Back to that.
What? Hold on. I was talking to a group of young ladies at the school, and I said, you know how you can tell my children, those that are really related to me? They said, how? They're never in my room.
Wow.
They're never in my room. Those that think that they're close to me and they come to say what's up to me, you know what I'm saying? That's how you can tell it's a fake relationship. You know what I'm saying? You're not down here for my benefit. You came down here in some form or fashion for your benefit. You didn't actually come to check on me, because if me and you really had a relationship, you respect the fact of what I do and what this room represents, and you will try it. You will be in tears to come down here to see me, unless it's before or after school, or if you had a hall pass. That where you actually said, I wanted to go check on Mr. Brown, blah blah blah, or Brother Hatim, or however they know me. You know what I'm saying? But
now, what's the age grade of students you're dealing with?
I deal with kindergartners all the way up to 8th grade.
Wow. So imagine if one of your 6th graders was in your office.
Which they are every day, but go ahead.
One of your 6th graders in the office, because you found some crack on them.
Okay.
So let's say you found a brick. Let's say you found a brick. Right?
A brick of what?
And
you talking about a kilo?
Crack. Huh?
You talking about a kilo of crack? When you say a brick, you talking about a kilo?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You going extreme, but go ahead.
I mean, here's the thing. And I'm really all right. So here's the piece: is that a young man that I mentored in East Orange, New Jersey. That was his life story. His life story is that at 12 years old, he was the man of the house and he had to do what he had to do. But if this child comes to you and you're like, hey man, you only in grade school and that ain't cool. What do you say when he say, hey, my pop's gone and my brother need baby food? He the man of the house. Is it his fault?
Is it his fault?
Right, going back to the...
That's community fault. That's community fault.
That's community.
That. See, because that goes back to, is the child at fault? Yeah, he making adult choices, but the reason he makes adult choices because, in a sense, the community has basically allowed him to fend for himself. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, in a community, if it takes a village to raise a child, why does this child feel the responsibility that he has to step up? So obviously, he don't have a village. So
right. Now, but here's the thing. It's a tough one, man, because in his story, he say, plus I get a brick off a week, off a principal to my principal.
What? Say that again?
He say he get a brick off a week, off principal to his principal.
Stop. So you saying that the boy was selling dope and was getting the dope from the principal? Is that what you saying?
Selling it to the principal.
Well, now I'm kind of concerned because what type of principal got enough money to get off a brick a week to... I don't know no principals making that type of money in the inner city. So some other shit going on here. So I would have to resign from that job and move on because eventually there's going to be a hit squad sent up into that motherfucking school because it's some money being fucked up. I'm just saying. So you saying he gets a brick off to the principal. We talking about a brick of crack. Now, that's processed cocaine, which is going to bring more money than the actual brick of cocaine is going to cost. This boy is getting it off. I have to leave. I'm not dealing with it. Here's your brick. You go on, talk to the... I have to leave.
Oh, this ain't no Black Lightning episode.
No. This is Black Be Gone. I'm gone because, dude, I mean, what you talking about? I mean, like I said, I couldn't even imagine that. I'm sitting up here like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Damn, that's a lot of money. And you talking about a week per week? Dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I have to, those families that I truly have a relationship with, I have to serve the reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? And be like, yo, some shit going on in that school. You might, you know what I'm saying? You need to move. I'm not there anymore. You need to move your... I mean, because, what the fuck else can I do? So now, because it's like, because you know what, I supposed to do the Black Lightning shit and shut that down? No. Not on my salary. I can't do it. I'm still trying to figure out how Black Lightning doing all that shit and still making it to work every day. I don't see it.
They should have made Black Lightning a cartoon, man.
Oh, I mean, the show was good, but like I said, but it's kind of good to
he belongs to
DC.
He's DC.
DC, yes.
Okay, that makes sense, then. That makes sense. Okay.
Whenever you watching the movie and they come up with a different name for a city, that's usually DC. New York and all that is Marvel. Marvel usually use there's very few fake cities in Marvel, and everything seems to happen in New York.
Man, I never even thought about that. You're right. Metropolis, Gotham. Yeah. That's all some DC stuff. Huh. So what do we need to do from this point to prepare to make this weekend the best and livest event of the year? Just get there, huh? Marco, hello?
You still on?
Oh, okay.
was checked in. He said when we was talking about the black woman that was taken out of the dorm room for having to sleep in the restroom, that the woman that called it on her. Not to mention she's supposedly a feminist. Aren't they always pro-female everything? You know what I'm saying? Now, when you ask questions like that, what universe is he in? And Anubis is on, you got to be careful how you ask these questions, because Anubis is trying to get an answer. Because he says, we're not sure which Earth, though. Because in D.C. you got... No, really, in D.C. they got a whole bunch of different Earths. Whole bunch. So it's like, and they categorize, and it's the same thing in Marvel too. You know what I'm saying? You got different universes and shit. So you got to be clear on, you know what I'm saying? Because we haven't seen him really run into any other characters yet. And I think maybe next season, because I'm wondering if this is going on at the same time that the Flash and that Arrow is going on. So I'm imagining they all in the same universe. So eventually, and since they're all on the same station, and Supergirl too, I think, right? No, Supergirl's on another station, but we know Supergirl is in that universe. So more than likely, it's the Earth that they are. But we ain't gonna get all into that.
Yeah, I had to get out of their world for a minute, man, because everybody was becoming assassins under Ra's al Ghul. I said, man, you know what? Batman is just one of many now.
Dude, not only that. Now I was one of the reasons I'm sore is that Friday night I watched John Wick 2. And I guess I can't experience stuff like I used to, because they fought so much in that damn movie and shot so many people that I woke up like I was sore, like I was in the damn movie. But when you look at the movie was about a secret society of assassins where they, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and sometimes you got to really wonder, do they really got shit like that? You know, because it's like everybody was an assassin in this motherfucker. Everybody, almost everybody was an assassin in the movie, and you'd be like, what? You know what I'm saying? So you know, it is some underground stuff going on that we possibly don't know about. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, but you know, but even in, like you said, in that universe, everybody's assassins and all that. And now, you know, we got the John Wick piece. But you know, one of the things that stands, and I'll bring it back to our original piece. Everybody know who belongs. And if I'm not familiar with you, the pieces of secret information or the pieces of sacred information that I have will be very similar or exact to what you have, so that even in our conversation, I will be able to pick up who you are.
Right.
Right.
Now, one live aspect about that John Wick piece, though, man. One thing I think is real dope, and it wouldn't be entertaining to me if it wasn't this way, is that what do they call the place? Is it an embassy?
The Continental.
That they go to?
The Continental.
What's it called?
It's the Continental.
Yes. The idea of the Continental is a must. Because if we want to grow through initiation, we must have that, because we're going to have different tribes. And there's a way that the tribes have to behave together. And I feel like, and I'm using it loosely, but I'm just saying that I think it's dope that they're all assassins. And at the Continental, there's no business.
No business. No death. You can't. You do that, it's over. So you know, and that's what John Wick 2 was about. It's about challenging that idea. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to be out, blah blah blah. He ended up killing the dude at the Continental because you know, homeboy, not only he just started talking and he just rubbed it in. You know, a person could stay here a very long time, because you know what they say about the guy that runs the Continental is, when you call and say, I want to see the manager, of course, the manager is always here. The manager does not leave those grounds. So you can live, if you got the dough, you can stay there forever and continue doing what you're doing and nobody could touch you. And you know, that's not, you know, I can dig it, but that shit is not, that's not copacetic. So that means I could fuck up your whole family and I could just hide up in this place and you can't touch me. Nobody in your tribe or nobody in any cross tribes, nobody can touch me. Man, fuck that. But you know, those things do exist. They're called embassies. And actually, at one point in time, that's what the church was. You know what I'm saying? But the police run up in the church just as quickly as they run up into your house.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like I drove past the church the other day, and I told Pharaoh, I said, you know what? One day I would like to own a building as substantial as that. I mean, I'm talking about one of those stone joints, right?
Right. Oh.
And then it just dawned on me. I said, where are these churches in The Walking Dead?
What?
In The Walking Dead. In the show Walking Dead, like they had one season they was living in a prison because it was protected. You know what I mean? It had the fences and it had stone walls. Okay. They had one. They went to the governor's little civilization. Where are the churches at? You got a little tribe. A tribe can hide out from the zombies and from the living. And the church is like you said, it was built as a place of refuge.
But as far as security, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying it operates because the Continental is not necessarily built to sustain an outward attack. The Continental is protected by the principles of the groups that use the Continental. So it's not necessarily,
right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have to worry about shit popping off because everybody in this motherfucker can kill. You know, if they get attacked from the outside, everybody in here is skilled enough to handle any of the outside forces. But because of our pact and because of the oaths that we stand on, when you come to this place, it's sacred. So that's what I meant. The church used to be a sacred place where no violence was supposed to happen. Police couldn't come in because a criminal could run into the church and stay there as long as they could. And the police couldn't go in and get them. Brother Nuba said there's a law in Greece that protects anarchists, etc. If they're able to get to a university, can get sanctuary from the government. So places like the Continental do actually exist. Embassies, if you are able to receive protection from that country, like we got that one dude that did the what is that dude's name? It's on the tip of my tongue. He's living in he was living in the embassy for years. The United States been chasing him, and I think he living in embassy in Argentina or something like that, and he never has to leave. And America can't touch him. So there are principles of this, but we got to have that. We got to develop that because that's called sacred ground. You know what I'm saying? That and you kind of spoke on the level. Julian Assange, thank you, sir. and there's certain things that need to be held sacred by people, by a group of people. You know what I'm saying? What is sacred?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to be careful when you hang around people that have nothing sacred, because a lot of us don't have. It's Bolivia embassy. He's in London at the Bolivian embassy, I think. Okay, so but family, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut it down. I want to thank Shaka for coming in because we on an hour and 34 minutes. I still got the microwave went out, so I gotta cook some stuff for my kids the old-fashioned way, right? The old-fashioned way. I'm gonna throw something on the grill because Sasha hungry. And I want to thank, well, you know I don't grill, but
Daddy.
I make some food. But I'm gonna get them together, and I want to thank everybody that took the time for stopping in. I want to tell everybody to like and subscribe, and most importantly, share. You know what I'm saying? Because when you share it, you extend our algorithm. So when you listen to any of our shows, make sure you share. right? Because it extends the algorithm and helps us as far as this movement. I want to remind you that on May 19th, which is next Kuumba, we will be having the Malcolm X Festival, and I hope to see you in the place, right? And we're going to have a whole bunch of stuff going on. We got the flyers, so hopefully a flyer will be coming by you real soon. Be looking for them. You know what I'm saying? If you want some so that you can distribute them, let me know. We got access to a few. And with that, before we do that, as I usually do, let me give my honored guest the opportunity to go and throw out some closing words.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Tim. I want to say this. When we have these things that causes people to move together, once again, and I cannot reiterate it enough, please hold true to what is sacred in your heart, because that is where you give yourself and you give us permission to make magic happen. Well, what we call magic anyway is because if on a daily basis, we're bringing this vibration because we are bringing the ancestors into the conversation. Because we understand that, and because that is a part of who we are, let us, when we come together, so that we can explore the depths of each other without offending the nature of what we came to do. I hope that was clear, because I said exactly what I needed to say.
All right, family, I want to thank you. Once again, you are now rocking with the best. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media.
Remix.
The hell, anime? This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. That's a little bit better, but you still sound like you shy or something. This is Heart of Simple Production. You have joined us for the Daily Toast. I want to thank all my Daily Toasters for stepping out. And we are done. And of course, this is a Heart of Simple Production. We strive to blow up your old paradigms. And with that, we are gone.